There are 12 names you've probably heard, even if you've never opened a Bible: Peter, John, Matthew, Judas. But who were they really? Not just their names, but their personalities, their backgrounds, their mistakes, and their callings. This is Every Disciple Explained. First, Simon Peter. Peter is probably the most famous disciple and the most relatable. He was a fisherman, bold, loud, always the first to speak and the first to act. When Jesus walked on water, Peter was the one who stepped out of the boat. And when Jesus said he would die, Peter was the one who shouted, "Never." But Peter also denied Jesus 3 times in one night. Still, Jesus called him the Rock. Not because he was always strong, but because he kept coming back. Peter would later become one of the key leaders of the early church. Some traditions say he was crucified upside down, by choice, because he didn't feel worthy to die the same way as Jesus. Peter teaches us God can use loud, impulsive, imperfect people, if they're willing to grow. 2 John. John was called the disciple whom Jesus loved. Not because Jesus played favorites, but because John stayed close. He was young, probably a teenager when he was called. He was also one of the few who stayed with Jesus until the very end, even at the cross. John became a writer. He wrote the Gospel of John, 3 letters, and the book of Revelation. He outlived all the other disciples and died of old age after a lifetime of faithfulness. John teaches us intimacy with Jesus isn't about age, it's about presence. 3 James. James was John's older brother. Together, they were called Sons of Thunder. That nickname tells you a lot. James was fiery. At one point, he literally asked Jesus if they could call down fire from heaven on a village that rejected them. Jesus said no. But James stayed. He matured. He was the first of the 12 disciples to be martyred, executed by sword. He didn't die calling down fire. He died with faith. James teaches us passion needs direction, and when surrendered, it becomes purpose. Andrew. Andrew is Peter's brother, but the opposite of Peter in personality. Peter spoke. Andrew brought people. He was the one who introduced Peter to Jesus. He was the one who brought the boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish to Jesus before the miracle. He never tried to be the center, but without Andrew, a lot of people wouldn't have met Jesus at all. Some sources say he was crucified on an X-shaped cross, continuing to share the gospel even as he died. Andrew teaches us not everyone is loud. Some people just open the door.